idea for the Coffee With series originated with the folks at Vicksburg Daily News, and as we sat and discussed it, we thought it would be interesting to talk to people in Vicksburg about interesting jobs that people have, events they're planning, volunteer work they're doing, positive things that people are doing in Vicksburg. Some of the guests that we have coffee with you'll probably know and recognize, but my guess is that most of them you may have never heard of or met before you saw them here with us having coffee. These are people who are quietly behind the scenes with great dedication doing things that make a difference for the lives of all of us who live in Vicksburg. So we hope that you enjoy this new Coffee With series with Vicksburg Daily News. Well, today I'm having coffee with Karen Sanders. And Karen, I heard some things about you. I've seen some of your artwork over at the Cricket Box, and I know that you're teaching some classes. I was interested in talking to you because somebody told me you haven't really been doing artwork all that long, and yet your pieces are so beautiful. And how did you get started doing this?
You know, it's funny. A couple of years ago, I'd always been a singer, and I got nodes on my vocal cords and couldn't sing for a while. Well, I was looking for another method of self-expression, and I talked to Barbara Hamilton at the old craft store. I don't know if you remember, it was over there by Kroger.
Yes. And
she said she would start a little short-term class in watercolor. And I'd always wanted to try it, so I thought, okay, well, I'll try this. So here I am in a class with mostly children, a couple of adults, mostly children, and I liked it. I really, really liked it, and I seemed to have a knack for it. So after the class ended, I bought supplies and just started doing my own thing with it.
And how long ago was that? A couple of years?
2 years ago, this past January.
And you had never done any kind of artwork before that?
Some one-stroke painting, the Donna Dewberry stuff, which is totally different principle from watercolor. I had done, crocheting, craft things, but not fine art.
Now, I've noticed that you do a lot of scenes like this where there's trees and different colors in the background. What is it that draws you to this particular type of, not the watercolor, but the scene?
The scene. Well, I love trees. I love trees. I picked out my house largely on Porter's Chapel because we had nice big trees in the yard. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really drawn to trees in particular. Part of the reason I tend to do a lot of trees also is because I have myasthenia gravis, which causes some visual disturbance. Sometimes I see double, sometimes I see blurred, more like 1.5. And I can paint trees. I have trouble with anything that's real super detailed or sharp angles or things where I have to follow a real specific line. Yeah. But trees I can be more free with. And even when I'm having double vision, I can paint trees.
Just paint twice as many, right?
I just paint twice as many.
Now, you have some of your items over at the Cricket Box for sale. Is that correct?
I have some things at the Cricket Box. I call it a God thing. I was speaking for the retired teachers, and Debbie Tate and Judy Woolley were there, and I was speaking about artwork. And they came up and said, "We love your stuff. We're starting a gift shop. Would you like to have a wall in our gift shop, the Cricket Box?" And I did, and I've really enjoyed being out there too.
Now, are you doing some classes or something at the Cricket Box?
I did a demonstration in February for their Art from the Heart Month.
Yes.
Did one with mostly children, came in, wanted to paint, just to see if they'd like it. Mm-hmm. But mostly what I'm doing is at the Vicksburg Senior Center.
And tell me about that.
Oh, that has been such a blessing. I absolutely love the Senior Center. It is it's an untapped treasure. I don't think people really realize what they have there.
And where is it?
It is on the corner of South Street. The bank is across from it. That parking garage is kind of catty corner, and City Hall's on the other side.
Okay.
But it's downtown, and they let me come in, and I teach. I've got 3 classes now of students at different abilities. Teach watercolor, and it has been a blast. My oldest student is Norma Allman, and she is 77 years old.
Wow.
She calls herself Grandma Moses. And she has just blossomed I mean, it is unbelievable. She sold work at the last VAA show, and then I had another student that sold things at the last Vicksburg Art Association show, and they have really just taken the ball and run with it. We had an art show at the Senior Center last fall, and made a nice sum to help continue the art programs.
So do you teach every week at the Senior Center?
I have a class at least once a week at the Senior Center. The open class that anyone can walk in is on the first and third Wednesdays.
And do you have to be a member at the Senior Center? Or?
You don't have to be a member. All you have to be is over 50.
Okay. And is there a charge for it?
No charge.
Do you need to bring your own supplies?
Nope. Center provides everything.
Just show up.
Just show up.
With a painting heart.
With a happy heart, ready to paint.
All right.
The Senior Center provides all the supplies. A lot of people end up wanting their own things so they can have them at home and paint. I would say a goodly portion of mine end up buying supplies so that they can have them at home as well.
Sure. Now, Karen, you do some other volunteer work in the community, don't you?
I have done things on and off in the past. I go and when I'm able to vocally, I go and sing at nursing homes. I've gone over to the Olive Branch in Tallulah as well and sung at nursing homes. I used to do community Bible school, which I loved. I don't think that's going on anymore, but I love doing that.
Don't you sing in the choir at your church?
I sing at the choir at Crawford Street United Methodist Church when I'm able, and have been doing that for about 27 years now. I've been in church choir a few years. And I go speak to senior citizens groups and things like that. So,
well, you stay pretty busy, I know that.
I stay pretty busy. I only have so much gas in my tank every day. Like if I do a class in the morning, I may have to nap all afternoon, but,
sure.
but it's worth
it, right?
It's totally worth it.
Is there anything I haven't asked you about that you do that you think we might be interested in? Or, we really are... Kind of our reasoning for doing this Coffee With series is just to talk to different people in Vicksburg that are doing interesting or positive things in our community.
Well, I would like to bring up disability just a little bit because 10 years ago I was diagnosed with a neuromuscular disease, myasthenia gravis, and it causes my muscles to get really weak really fast. Eye muscles, bulbar muscles, like chin and tongue and all this, breathing muscles in extremes. So I guess one thing I want to say is that if I can do this, anyone can do this. Anyone can watercolor. Don't make it something that's harder than it is. You can do more than you think. A lot of people, they get diagnosed with a neuromuscular disease and they just want to sit at home and they don't want to go out and they don't want to do anything. And figure out what you can do.
And what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? I had a disabled mom who was very sick for a long time, and she just had such a positive attitude. I mean, my mama, you just couldn't totally stop her. And I think, I had a role model for being disabled, for which I'm thankful now. I lost her 20 years ago, but I think I carry her in the back of my mind, and I can see Mama saying, "Now, Karen, don't you sit up there in that bed. Don't you sit on that couch. You get out and do something." Right. Plus, I'm a people person. I like to go connect with people. And I found through this watercolor, I like to teach. I was never a teacher. I was a counselor, but I love to teach. And part of it's just, I don't know how to put it. I just feel like God wants us to use what we have. I feel like He wants us to use our resources, use our talents, use our time wisely. And even disabled, I still have things I can do, things I can give, ways I can contribute. Yeah. And I guess that would be the thing I'd want to tell people is, if you're disabled, if you're in pain, you're going to hurt whether you're at home or you're out doing something.
That's true. If
you're tired, you're going to be tired at home, or whether you're out doing something. Now, you do have to pace yourself. But, don't let it stop you from doing things. Don't let it stop you from getting out and being with people, learning something new. You're never too old.
Well, Karen, you're really an inspiration, and I thank you for using your gifts and your talents to help other people. And it's apparent to me that what you do is making a difference in our community. And I thank you so much for coming and having a coffee.
Thanks for having me.